Hello, I'm Guthrie. Today I'm going to go about how I got started using Zoom with Outschool and how you can practice if you are either a new teacher to Outschool or you've just never used Zoom before and you're really worried about using the technology. It does get easier, trust me. First, I want to welcome all the new teachers to Outschool. I know there's a whole bunch of you coming in, and I look at some of the classes, and I have to say I am jealous that I cannot teach those art classes, and I would actually like to take the art classes. So no competition from me there. If you are thinking about joining Outschool, and you've just been afraid to, you've heard that it's hard to get in, that you have to worry about intro video, please use my referral that I'll link below. Drop me a line, guthriegabbs@gmail.com, and I'd be glad to work one-on-one to help you get through the application process. It really is easy, but there's some key things that Outschool is looking for, and it's easy to overlook those just because you're nervous. And you might be an expert in your field and you haven't really had to try to promote yourself before. So I'd be glad to help you out. Today we're going to talk about practicing with Zoom. When I first started with Outschool, I had never used the Zoom program before. I had been a brick and mortar teacher, and when I did work online, I used a Canvas program. I've used Google Classrooms, but I had never used Zoom before. And even more so, I was worried about how to use Zoom through Outschool, because I had downloaded Zoom and thought, oh, I've got this. And then when I joined as a teacher and got my listing, I realized there was a different setup. And Outschool pays for your Zoom platform. You don't use your personal Zoom platform. You just have to have the app downloaded onto the device that you're using to teach. You do not pay for a Zoom profile or application with how many students you can have. Outschool takes care of all that. That's part of the 30% that they take from your pay. So the first thing you need to do is get your class listed. You get your class listed, now you're able to create sections. Yes, it's easy for me to say earlier this morning. You create a section, and what I did is you set up a time for a section. It could be an hour from now, it could be 10 minutes from now, it could be tomorrow. What you do is you set that section to private. It will not be publicly listed on Outschool. And then you go back into that class section that you have created at a future point. Send out invites to your friends or family, whoever you want to practice with. They will get an email inviting them to the Zoom and sending them the link that they need to get on the Zoom program with you. I use my sister and brother-in-law. And also, I live in South Carolina, they live in New York, so I thought that would help with the streaming and check out some worries about how our internet was, and I could get good feedback from them, and it did work great. So I invited them. I even invited my husband, who was in another room, and so we all used the Zoom. And I tried doing the breakout rooms when I was in the Zoom program with them. I tried sharing a presentation that I had created and working through that, and looking at the chat box and having them write in it. So I was able to practice all the different things that I would want to do as an online teacher for Outschool with my family, and I got feedback from them. I found out that we were having a problem with the internet. Then we kicked my husband out, and we saw, oh, well, it improved when my husband wasn't there. So I realized that it was just he was pulling down on the internet in my house, and so he was kicked to the curb. And once we kicked him to the curb, it was a little bit smoother. And then because it was my sister and brother-in-law in the same house, we kicked one of them to the curb. And we saw that, it improved. So it wasn't so much my setup or their setup, it was that it was two people at the same time streaming. And that is something to think of if you have children that might be taking at the same time. One might need to sit closer to the router. So you practice as long as you want. In that class, it's private, no one else can join you. Then when you are done, you go back to the video in Outschool and click hide video. This way the video is not going to be published. There's no mistake that it's going to get posted to a different section of that class. You just simply put hide video. if you go on early to a class, if you have a class listed for at 3 in the afternoon and it's 8 in the morning and you are raring to go, you can go in and open up that classroom and you could practice a little bit, and then you could close out that video and hide it also. But I really think the best way to do it is to use a private classroom, practice with friends and family, get comfortable there, and then you just hide the class, and there's no worry. It was private. No one's going to have to be funded. No one has to worry about enrolling. It doesn't matter that they're over 18 years of age because you sent out a private invitation. And I was just practicing. That helped me so much because I was able to say, well, what do you see? And then I could actually switch cameras with my husband when he was allowed back in the room. And I could go and use his phone to say, oh, this is what we're seeing. And I would say, well, please move this and put us into breakout rooms. And I could see what it was like to be in a breakout room. Okay, click share. And then I could see what was share. And I would say, open up the chat box. And I could see what the students see when the chat box is open. So that really helped me get an understanding for the dynamics of Zoom and Zoom through Outschool. Because with Outschool, you just click the green link and you go straight to the classroom. One more piece of advice. You may have parents or students saying, I can't log in. I don't know what to do. I had a parent who was going to leave her son at the grandparents' house and wanted him to take the class, and she said, I need the Zoom link for the class. Outschool does not allow us to share the Zoom links. I simply reminded the parent, just let grandma get the login for Outschool, and he can go straight at the right time to the classroom section, and it's going to just pop up with the green tab, and he could log in. There it was, easy peasy. Mom was happy. Grandma was happy because she didn't have to do anything but log in. The kid was happy. The student was happy because he wasn't going to miss his class because we had already started with the class, and it was an ongoing class, so he didn't want to miss class. And I didn't want him to either. But that was a great way to not give out the Zoom links. So we don't want to give out Zoom links because we are worried about hackers. We do have to worry about student privacy and security. You want to worry about your privacy and security. So keep those kids safe. Keep yourself safe. Happy Zooming.